UFC Iowa is officially over. In the main event, Cory Sandhagen beats Deiveson Figueiredo in the second round by TKO. And in the co-main event, Reinier de Ridder exposes Bo Nickal and beats him in the second round by TKO. A crazy fight, very surprising. Overall, this fight night card wasn't terrible, but for it to be in a arena, crowded event, it wasn't that great, to be honest with you. There was some fun fights, but overall, this fight night card was lackluster, I would say. In this video, we're going to go over the main event and co-main event, giving you my thoughts and opinions on what happened. But before we get into it, be sure to like, comment what you thought about the fight night card, and subscribe for more content like this. Now let's get into it. In the main event, Cory Sandhagen beats Deiveson Figueiredo in the second round by TKO. This fight was very weird. It was a lackluster fight. Not much happened, to be honest with you. Going into this fight, Deiveson Figueiredo was a big underdog. He was a plus 375. Cory Sandhagen was a minus 550. So a lot of people saw Cory Sandhagen winning this fight. A lot of people saw him winning by TKO too, but in the later rounds. They didn't see this happening early on because Figueiredo is a tough fighter. The problem with Figueiredo, though, is when he fights someone with good takedown defense or good grappling, and they also have good striking, he doesn't really do anything in the fight. He can't really strike with them because he's more of a power counter striker, like you see in the Marlon Vera fight where he beat Marlon Vera from just striking with him, from playing this counter strike defense. And then in the Cody Garbrandt and Rob Font fight, Deiveson Figueiredo takes him down and just mauls them. So when Figueiredo is fighting someone the same size as him, like Peter Yan or Cory Sandhagen, and they have good takedown defense and good striking, he doesn't really do anything. And that's the sad reality of Deiveson Figueiredo. He is a flyweight. Yes, he's big, but he can't fight these guys that are better than him in striking or grappling. So basically in this fight, Figueiredo did nothing. He kept on going for knee bars, kept on going for heel hooks. And you cannot go for knee bars or heel hooks against someone who has pretty good takedown defense and they can hold position well, because you're just going to end up getting punched in the face. In the UFC, you cannot go for heel hooks or knee bars or toe holds. You can't go for any of that in the UFC because you're going against guys that they might not have great jiu-jitsu, but they have good enough takedown defense or grappling position where they can hold their position, where they're not in danger, but they can land ground strikes. And that's exactly what you saw in this fight. Deiveson Figueiredo constantly going for the knee bar or a heel hook, and Cory Sandhagen is holding his position in half guard, or he'll be in mounts, or even in guard, and he's just landing bombs on Figueiredo. And that's how this fight played out. In the second round, Cory Sandhagen is on top. Figueiredo goes for a knee bar. Cory Sandhagen reverses the knee bar, falls down, has his own knee bar, and then Figueiredo kind of like turns into him, almost in like half guard. And Cory Sandhagen is on top in half guard with this like knee drag, where Figueiredo's knee is on top of Cory Sandhagen's leg, and he's in this half guard position. And something happened where Figueiredo was like sitting up, and Cory Sandhagen was like landing punches, and something happened with Figueiredo's knee. Either it popped or he tore his LCL or something in his knee. Cory Sandhagen proceeds to land tons of big power punches on the ground. Figueiredo taps, and the fight ends. That's literally how it happened. I wish I could show you how like the knee position was, but I don't have any way of showing you. But he had a knee drag position, which is actually a very dominant position that Cory Sandhagen was in, because hypothetically, if Figueiredo never like messed up his knee, Cory Sandhagen could have technically almost like passed his guard with the knee stuck, and Figueiredo would have been in this like weird like half guard position, but he would have been on his back with his leg, with his knee folded over the other knee. It was actually a very good position. Anyway, Cory Sandhagen beats Figueiredo, completely dominates him. It almost looked like Figueiredo didn't want to be in there. It truly did. He kind of looked slow. He was hesitant. There was a couple of good punches Figueiredo landed when Cory Sandhagen would go for a leg kick, and Figueiredo would just literally step in with some power, but that was the only thing he had. Other than that, Cory Sandhagen dominated him. He called for the title shot after this fight. You could give Cory Sandhagen the winner of Merab and Sean O'Malley in June. I'm fine with that. He hasn't fought anybody, or he hasn't fought Merab or Sean O'Malley yet, so I'm totally cool with that. But honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing Cory Sandhagen rematch with Peter Yan for the number one contender. Like, whoever wins fights for the championship. You could do Peter Yan versus Umar, and Cory Sandhagen gets the belt next, because that's really it. But Peter Yan versus Cory, your rematch would be fine. Or you could do Merab and, Peter Yan next. You could do that rematch. There's a lot of fun fights, but you can argue Cory Sandhagen deserves the belt next. And then you could do Peter Yan versus Umar. That's the meritocracy. It would be even. It would be fair. And it would help flow the bantamweight division a little bit better. So that was kind of crazy. In the co-main event, here we are. Reinier de Ridder completely exposed Bo Nickal. I'm not trying to be that guy, but if you follow my YouTube, if you watch my videos, I posted about a year ago about how Bo Nickal has Dana White privileges. And basically my whole point was that Bo Nickal, he's not a top 10 fighter. He's not that great of a fighter. He's good enough where he can beat up these unranked guys, but he's not good enough to be above former champions on a UFC 300 card. And that's what the video was about, was the fact that everybody hypes up Bo Nickal like, oh, he's the future. He's a Penn State champion. He's an all-American wrestler, blah, 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 blah. But yet no one ever discusses his wins. And that's what always pissed me off with Bo Nickal, was the fact that everybody's like, oh my God, Bo Nickal's a future champion. But he beat Jamie Pickett in his UFC debut in an arm triangle. It was a good fight, right? But Jamie Pickett is a unranked beginning level UFC fighter. Then in his next fight, he beat Val Woodburn, who, if you don't remember, came in on short notice against Bo Nickal on like 5 or 6 day notice, and literally had maybe like 2 or 3 pro fights, never fought in the UFC, and fought Bo Nickal, and Bo Nickal whooped him. And then this is where it all gets weird. UFC 300, Bo Nickal versus Cody Brundage. Bo Nickal is above all these former UFC champions on UFC 300, which rubbed me the wrong way. Fought Cody Brundage, but Cody Brundage went to the second round with Bo Nickal and landed some good shots. And then the Paul Craig fight, which we all know, Bo Nickal didn't land a single takedown, fought Paul Craig, looked pretty awful, only landing overhand rights and going to a decision with Paul Craig, right? And then now fights Reinier de Ridder. My whole point of this whole long argument, this whole tangent I'm going off of, is everybody hyped up Bo Nickal being this next guy, like, oh, he'll run through all these guys. He'll even beat Chimaev. Like, that's what surprised me, was the fact that no one looked at Bo Nickal saying, like, dude, you haven't even fought like a top 10 guy yet, but apparently you can beat Khamzat Chimaev. And the fact that a year ago, Bo Nickal said he wouldn't be surprised if he was a minus 1,000 against Khamzat Chimaev. You know how crazy that is? Now, let's look at this. Reinier de Ridder beats Bo Nickal in the second round, knees him to the body. Bo Nickal falls down. The entire fight, though, from round 1 to the stoppage, Reinier de Ridder out-muscled Bo Nickal, out-striked Bo Nickal, and out-grappled Bo Nickal, hitting him with some judo sweeps. Reinier de Ridder was on top of, I'm going to pull up the stats, Reinier de Ridder had 2 minutes of control time on Bo Nickal. Bo Nickal, who's this all-American wrestler. Oh my God, he's an American wrestler. Watch out, guys. He's so good. He's so good. He's going to be a former champion, or he's going to be the next champion. I promise you. I promise. But yet, this dude who has all this wrestling can't stop Reinier de Ridder? And everybody looked at Reinier de Ridder as a bum going into this fight. He was a plus 300, and Bo Nickal was a minus 300 to win. Everybody counted out Reinier de Ridder, right? And that's what is so irritating, is like, dude, this was on paper. We saw what was going to happen pretty much. Like, even in the last fight, all Bo Nickal did against Paul Craig was throw overhand rights. And that's pretty much all he did in this fight. And when he would exchange on the feet with Reinier de Ridder, He didn't do anything. He was completely missing his combinations too. He would throw a 1-2-3, and the moment he would throw that left hook, Reinier de Ridder shooting in on Bo Nickal, and Bo Nickal couldn't do anything. It's like the game planning, the striking, even the grappling, it's like it's hindered. It feels like everything is not as high or as good as we thought it was or would be. And this is very concerning, especially if you are a fan of Bo Nickal, or if you are Bo Nickal, and if you're listening to this, which you're not, there is a lot of work he's got to get done. A lot of work. It's not like he had a close split decision fight with Reinier de Ridder. No, he got beat up. And you got to give, credit to Reinier de Ridder, former ONE FC champion, coming in. He's on a 3-fight win streak right now, beating good guys, right? Beating Kevin Holland, beating Gerald Meerschaert, and now beating Bo Nickal. And he's finishing these guys, right? Like, I know Reinier de Ridder doesn't look technical. He doesn't look like he should be beating these guys, but so did DDP coming up. DDP was beating all of these guys, and we're like, how is he winning? He got taken down. DDP tried to take down Darren Till and then ended up taking down himself. And we're like, how is this guy going to be a champion? But then he figured it out. He cleaned up the transitions, cleaned up the striking, and is now the champion. That is what Reinier de Ridder is doing. He's literally beating these guys in weird fashion where we're like, how is he out grappling Bo Nickal? How is he out striking Kevin Holland? How is he getting hit by Gerald Meerschaert but still landing big bombs and pushing him back, right? And that's just who he is. That's just his fighting style. It looks funky, it looks weird, but he makes it work. And this fight was surprising. I mean, Reinier de Ridder just outworked Bo Nickal. I don't think Bo Nickal is the worst fighter in the UFC, but when you look at the rankings, when we're looking at the middleweight rankings, like, who can he beat? Like, Reinier de Ridder's ranked 13th, and Bo Nickal just got finished by him. Roman Kopylov, who's ranked 14th. I don't think Bo Nickal can beat him. Paul Acosta's ranked 12th. I don't think Bo Nickal can beat Paul Acosta. Brendan Allen, who everybody shits on. Everybody shits on Brendan Allen. Oh, he's not that good. But yet he went on a 6-fight win streak, beating guys in grappling and outstriking them. I don't see Bo Nickal beating Brendan Allen. And then when I say these things, people are like, oh, you're crazy. He could beat Brendan Allen. He could beat Marvin Vettori. Can he? He struggled against Paul Craig, only throwing overhand rights, and he was scared to take him down. Like, dude, if you are an All-American wrestler and you went to Penn State and having all these accolades, but yet you're scared to take down a UFC fighter because of their jiu-jitsu or whatever, then you have things to work on. There's a lot of things, a lot of mistakes you have got to fix if you want to be a champion. Nasruddin Imavov would destroy Bo Nickal, right? And there's questions about him if he could be champion, right? Even look at someone who's ranked 7th, Jared Cannonier. I don't see Bo Nickal beating Jared Cannonier. If Bo Nickal is getting out-muscled and outworked by Reinier de Ridder, what do you think like Kai Brahalo or Robert Whitaker or even someone like Jared Cannonier would do to Bo Nickal? This is not looking good for Bo Nickal. I know this was a very long rant, and I just went off and shit on Bo Nickal for 10 minutes right there, but we got to be real with ourselves, and especially when we're hyping up these guys. Like, we have to be careful. You cannot, and I know I'm guilty of this. I'm being a hypocrite, but like, we cannot look at a upcoming prospect and be like, oh my God, he's going to be a champion one day. He's going to destroy everybody, but yet not have a single rank win against anybody yet. I know I did that at first against Umar Nurmagomedov, right? Because I was like, he hasn't beaten a ranked guy and then beats Cory Sandhagen. But I ate my words and I changed it. But people like Bo Nickal, who's coming up, he is still young. But we cannot be saying he's going to beat Khamzat Chimaev and be a minus 1,000 favorite. We cannot be saying those things. When you're fighting someone like a Khamzat Chimaev, bro, if you're not getting up from Reinier de Ridder, if you're getting held on the ground by Reinier de Ridder, what do you think Khamzat Chimaev would do to you? Come on. I think for Bo Nickal, he needs to take some time off. Maybe he can look back at another ranked fighter, maybe Abus Magomedov. But even then, dude, Abus Magomedov, who's ranked 15th in the middleweight division, I don't see Bo Nickal beating someone like that. I just don't see it happening. Maybe if I don't even know, Chris Weidman or something came back to the UFC, maybe that'd be a fight for Bo Nickal. You know, two former wrestling collegiate champions fighting each other. But like, Bo Nickal needs to start fighting people with experience and beating them before we start talking about him getting a top 5 fight or top 10. Because if he can't beat someone like Reinier de Ridder, who is a former champion and kind of looks goofy and doesn't have it all put together, and he's getting destroyed by him, I hate to be that guy, but he is not going to be a future champion. He's not going to be anything if he can't work on his grappling, work on getting out of, you know, mounts, working on takedowns, working on your striking. His striking is still so bad. He's not fluid at all. He's just muscle. He's just power throwing every shot. It's not like he's fluid, throwing like a couple ones and a leg kick, checking everything, throwing some feints, looking for combinations, cutting off the ring, cutting the corners, working the body to his opponents. He's not doing any of that. He's just throwing like a 1-2-3 and then looking for a takedown, or he's throwing an overhand right with a leg kick. That's all Bo Nickal throws. And that is concerning if you're trying to be a future champion and he's a former collegiate athlete. Oh my, he came from Penn State, guys. He came from he's this guy. He's going to be a future champion. But yet can't go for a single takedown or multiple takedowns against Reinier de Ridder and try and hold him down. It was like, oh, this fight was so lackluster. It was just so bad. Man, I just don't see Bo Nickal being much in the UFC. And I might just be hating on him right now because I've got animosity against him, because on UFC 300 he's fighting Cody Brundage and he's above former UFC champions like that. Come on. But Bo Nickal has got a lot to work on. If he fixes his striking and works on his takedowns and his grappling, which is crazy to say because he is a collegiate athlete, but if he can work on those things and put things together, you know, at least with Khabib, his striking wasn't great, but he would spam wrestle you. He would just get you tired. That's not how Bo Nickal fights. He doesn't spam wrestle you. He doesn't try and take you to the ground immediately. It's like he's scared to almost, which is crazy to say. Maybe he was injured going against Reinier de Ridder. Maybe he was sick, and that's why he looked so bad, but he has got a lot to work on. Reinier de Ridder looked amazing. He pieced up Bo Nickal, killing him to the body, beating up his body, beating up him. He just beat him up. That's as simple as that. For Reinier de Ridder, I would like to see him maybe fight someone like Roman Dolidze, who's ranked 8th. Maybe fight someone like a Marvin Vettori, who's ranked 10th, or even Brendan Allen, who's 11th. Have him, you know, fight a couple people with experience who's been in that number 1 contendership, like Marvin Vettori or Jared Cannonier. Have him, you know, fight someone with some championship experience, I would say, and we could see where he is there. But Reinier de Ridder, I mean, he looks good. He looks identical to Dricus du Plessis, which is crazy. But that was my breakdown analysis of UFC Iowa. I hope y'all enjoyed. Let me know what you think or what you thought about this fight. Let me know if I'm too harsh on Bo Nickal, if I went in too deep. Pause. But be sure to like, comment what you thought, and subscribe. We are so close to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. I appreciate everything that y'all do and all your support. I'll see y'all in the next video. Goodbye.